Hello, my name is Katie, and I just started a new ASL class, so I'm super excited. I am not at all fluent in ASL or sign language, but I have always had a passion for learning languages and understanding other cultures, and it's taken quite some time for me to get to this point, but when the offering was put out there, I think it was my partner actually who suggested I check out this organization, which is phenomenal. If you're looking for an ASL class, I will say I just started, so I haven't gone through the whole thing, but I'm loving it so far. It's called Queer ASL, and it's all taught by deaf and hard of hearing queer folks. So if you're curious, go check it out. I may do some updates on here. I'm definitely not going to be teaching sign language as it's not something I'm an expert at, but I do love sharing my progress and growth. And I wanted to come on here today because one of the things that has been coming up for me as I start learning sign language is this sense of impatience of like, I already want to be better at this than I am. I want to like skip some of the learning stuff and just jump into being good at something, or be able to be fluent and have conversations and do all the fun stuff in that realm. But we can't do that stuff until we do the work of figuring it out first and acknowledging that we don't know everything, which is true and hard. So I wanted to come on, do a little meditation around cultivating some of that patience and curiosity and compassion for ourselves, that things take time, that we aren't in control of everything, and that that is acceptable. So if you're ready, if this feels good to you, I'll invite you here just to begin to bring your awareness to the present moment. So noticing what's around you. I have tea next to me. I have some plants next to me. I'm looking out at this beautiful sunny day. And if it feels comfortable for you, I'll invite you to bring your eyes to a close or just look down towards your hand, something that will help you kind of bring your focus in towards yourself and not out towards all the things out in the world, the people you can think about, the to-do list, all that stuff. We're just gonna bring it in, get calm, get focused, and then you can go back out and do all that stuff. I promise it'll be waiting there for you if you want it. So bringing your eyes to a close, if it feels good. Noticing the sensation in your body. Noticing a lot of excitement for me today, a little bit of nervousness. We're getting close to lunchtime here, so I'm starting to notice some hunger come up. Taking a breath here, seeing if you can let your body slow down just a little bit. And if you want to do a meditation like this while you're walking or moving or even just swaying, that is always welcome. If your body works better in motion, great. If you're feeling tired or overwhelmed or you just want to lay down, that's welcome too. So I want to bring to mind a moment, maybe it's present or past, where you weren't an expert. Hard to believe, I know. But there must have been a time, either when you were learning to speak or write, or maybe recently adapting to a job or learning something new in a relationship even, where you thought, oh, I have something to learn here. There's actually a gap between what I know and what I could know. And your reaction to that is welcome to be whatever you want it to be, right? It could be one of fear and anxiety. How am I going to learn that thing? What will it feel like? It could be one of curiosity or wonder, like, wow, what will my life feel like and be like once I know that thing? Or why don't I know that thing? That's interesting. It could also be one of avoidance or resistance of saying, no, I think I know it well enough. It's fine. I don't really want to worry about it. So noticing the instance separate from the reaction to the instance. So for example, I'm starting this ASL class. There's the fact of what I'm doing, right? I'm starting an ASL class. I am a beginner. It's just a fact. And then there's the story of what I'm doing, which can change person to person, moment to moment, even. So, right now, my story is I am super passionate about learning languages. I was a nanny for 15 years before I became a coach. And so, using signs and different ways of communicating, especially with infants, became super important. And so doing this work is really exciting and fills me up with a lot of enthusiasm and connection and curiosity and inspiration. And for someone else, their story could be totally different. And all the stories are allowed, right? We can judge our stories however we choose to, but all the stories are valid. So coming back to that fact part, what was the thing that you weren't an expert at yet, or even still to this day? And we're just going to unpack some of the expectation or maybe preconceptions that come with being a beginner. When I started learning languages, I mean, obviously, you start learning languages when you learn your first language. So I was much younger when I learned English, but when I got into elementary in middle school, I started learning languages more in a focused, directed way. And in doing so, you realize that you almost have to go back to this childlike state of wonder, which takes practice because as adults, we've practiced not being childlike most of the time. We've practiced adulting, we've practiced being responsible and grown up, and all these words that make us feel in charge and in control and powerful and not childlike. I think childlike wonder is a magical gift to practice because it opens us up to the possibility of learning. And when we aren't in that space, there's a lot of judgment, a lot of fear, a lot of imposter syndrome that can come up. And so, one of the fastest ways to learn is actually to slow down all the stories, all the judgment, and ask, if I were little, how would I go about learning this? Would I sit down with textbooks, stacks of paper, and try to type out my understanding of this new language or concept? No. I'd probably play. Maybe I would play with people who had more information or more awareness than me so that they could lead that play in a way. That's what I'm doing signing up for this course. I'm playing with people. Today we were literally drawing fuzzy little monsters. That was our language learning, and it was play. And that's how our brain works. So, thinking back to that time when you weren't an expert and thinking about how you approached that experience. Did you try to be adult about it? Did you try to be childlike about it? Did you get overwhelmed or turned off from the process and back away? Did you say, I'll do that later, but not right now? I need more time, energy, money, whatever else. And now I want us all to take a deep breath here, breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. One more time like that, letting go of that experience, breathing in, breathing out. And I want you to imagine as if you could go back to that experience with fresh eyes. What would it look like if you were to approach this challenge or learning or obstacle or goal with more childlike wonder, more playfulness, more curiosity, and more openness? What would have been different? Or what did you learn just thinking about it this way? For me, I know playing games is really important. Practicing in really small ways, lots of little tiny habits built together. And making it fun is so important because my brain doesn't like things that aren't fun. Will it tolerate them? Yes. Will it enjoy them and prioritize them and look forward to them? Probably not. So, thinking about in this moment, what's something I'm learning right now or that I'd like to build my skill around? Something else I'm working on is singing, which is very intimidating to me. I love singing, I sing often, and my judgment is I do not sing well, but I'm getting better. And I want you to think of this thing you're working on currently or that you're considering working on and ask the question, is there any way I could make this more fun? What is it missing that would add that childlike wonder, that playfulness into my routine, into my habits? Because that's really how your brain's going to learn. Taking another breath here, breathing in, breathing out. One more like that, breathing in, breathing out. Placing a hand on your heart if it feels good, maybe placing another on your belly. Just want to share some compassion with you that you get to share with yourself. It can be really hard and even scary to learn new things. It opens us up to unknowns, possibilities, judgments, change, growth. And our brain is built to adapt and be adaptable. And it's also built to be highly efficient and to keep us really safe. So I just want to acknowledge that learning something new is hard for a reason. It's not just the mental capacity that's needed, it's also the courage and confidence to be bad at something to start, to make mistakes, to look silly, to be vulnerable. Learning something new requires humility, kindness from others, compassion, space to be imperfect, to be messy. And learning something new also requires a lot of self love. There needs to be that part of you who says, you can do it, I believe in you, and I'm going to be here with you, even if it doesn't go how you think. Even if it's terrible and you hate it and you never want to do it again, I'm still going to be right here with you. I love you. I see you. I understand why this is important to you. And you have my permission to try and see what comes of that. Knowing that every time we fail, we're learning. Every time we grow, we're learning. It's all just a big experiment to see how we can expand and learn and connect with more folks in more different ways. Taking a big breath here, breathing all the way in, filling up. Big breath out through the mouth. We'll do 3 like this. Breathing in again. As you exhale, slowing it down a little more, seeing if you can extend it. One more like that, breathing in a little deeper. Big exhale out through the mouth. The cafe downstairs for me is celebrating something. You might hear them in the background. Maybe they're celebrating the end of our beautiful meditation here. When you're ready, wiggling your fingers and toes, bringing your eyes back to an open and staring down towards the ground, maybe getting a sip of tea or water. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate the courage and confidence it takes just to show up and be curious in this world. There are a lot of people out there who throw around judgments because it's easy, and I want to just say that I see you trying, I validate your efforts, and I wish you all the best. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.